Today is September 15th. The Yankees take 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox. They have a 3-game lead over the Orioles. Some fun storylines. Let's talk Yankees.
With old John Boy, Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. That's not the show. Why would I say that? Talkin' Yanks, which is brought to you by SeatGeek. And if you use code YANKS15 right now on the SeatGeek app or SeatGeek.com, you get 15% off your next order. Doesn't matter how many times you bought tickets using SeatGeek, you get 15% off using code YANKS15. The Yankees are in first place. They have a 3-game lead. They take 3 out of 4 from the Red Sox. Judge is hitting homers again. The weather is not turning as fast as I wanted to. But Jake's here, and BBD's here, and I'm here, and we're going to talk all about baseball. Jake, how are you?
Jimmy Davis, everyone. Good afternoon, everybody. That's my alter ego. I'm doing all right, man. Big game today, or more of a release game. Like, sure, we're in a good spot in the standings, and the Yankees train is going. The Judge homer streak ends. There was a lot of good, but if the Yanks lost today, would have been fairly dark for a 3-game set or 4-game set split. Obviously, if you lose the last 2, obviously if it's the Red Sox, and obviously if there's like trash talk, which again, a lot of that is fed through Cora trying to feed the beast of the Red Sox, trying to have any part of this season, which I think that ended today. But I'm doing all right, man. And like we've been talking about, there's a lot of fun playoff convos. We get, the Stroman skip start, which you were on there. And then playoff innings that are sneaking up and up on us. Hammy in a big spot today. Tim Hill, I've got no arguments against anymore. They're I don't know. So it's a lot of good conversations.
It's good, dude. This was a phenomenal weekend for getting to playoff mode, and I don't know. I like that they turned the page and things matter and Judge is hitting homers. The first 2 games, you went walk-off to win the Royals series, walk-off to win game 1, go-ahead grand slam from Judge to end the drought, and then you had the drama with Cole, which we'll get into all of that. Cora shit-talking, which I love Cora. I like that he's a shit-talker. That was the saddest attempt at shit-talking in a while, because it was like if you're boxing someone and the boxer trips and then rolls in his own dog's dog poop. You're fighting with a dude on the street. Me and you'll be Cole, and you trip.
We're fighting on the street.
You try to throw a punch, like a deke punch, and you miss so bad, you fall. Now you're in your own dog's poop, right? And then I'm standing there boasting to the neighborhood. You see that? That's going to help me win. It's like, what, dude? Just because Cole embarrassed the shit out of himself doesn't mean you're better now. So that was weird, I thought. His team didn't respond in kind. No. They lost game 4. And then today was kind of a nice, easy win. We should have been in the tight butthole, nervous when Cousins put 2 on, and I was like, oh, home run ties it. I got a little worried, but that didn't last long with the double play. So for a close game, it kind of felt like, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit of Cora's voodoo he was trying to put on this game. If Devers were to come up in that 9th inning, that would have been an interesting feeling. But it didn't happen. Nice double play ball on a guy that's really hard to turn a double play on. And, like this was also, the Yankees kind of should have been up more in this game. It always felt like they left 1 or 2 runners on the bases. And I say that in a good and a bad way a little bit. That they were driving the bus in this game. And yeah.
Yeah. Not enough to make a segment out of it, but Boone said that Lou Trevino and Cody Petit are knocking on the door.
We could still call it groundskeeping.
Groundscreeping, and they might be up. There's only one guy in the pen that they can. It's why am I blanking on his name? McKay? Mesa.
You watched 3.2 innings of Tim Mesa this weekend.
41 bullets.
Did I?
Now that's the question.
He's the only one they would send down, I think. So I don't even know if they're going to do that. Like, yeah, Poteet for Mesa at some point. Doesn't seem like they need to. So I don't know. That's the only groundscreeping.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really need length at this point. We're skipping Stroman's start. We have the extra body. We have 2 off days coming up surrounding this West Coast trip. Everyone buckle up. Late night X. I don't know. I mean, again, the odds of it at this point are very slim. Although Lou Trevino's been throwing for a while at AAA, which, again, you could put in a negative column. But this is a guy who's, like, pitched in the playoffs before. So if Lou Trevino came up and had 4 nasty innings, there would be, like, a head tilt. Like, okay, maybe he has one of the roles down there. Cody Poteet, in the nicest way, looked nice for us, but he's for innings that I don't think that's the problem right now.
Yeah. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But you want to get straight into the games? Game 1?
I think so.
We'll burn the 4 games. We'll talk about some big moments in the games. Then we'll give out awards.
Let's do that. A little preview.
Just a little one.
The rivalry is back. Boston hoping Criswell would pitch well while New York would have Nestor in store for the Sox. Miss you, Schmooze. Bottom 1. It's Thirsty Thursday. Gleyber bombs lead off homer. It's 1-0 Yanks. It stayed that way until the 5th. Yankee killer, Danny Jansen. That was Nestor's only run allowed. 5 innings pitched, 9 Ks for his nastiness. We're tied up at 1s, and it would stay that way into the 10th. Buenos Cantos, De Lo Mio, S-O-T-O, Soto. Walk-off hit. It's Nestor to Hammy to Hill to Canely to Holmes. Yanks win 2-1 and 10.
I kind of forget about this game.
A while ago.
You were saying it, and I was like, whoa, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It feels like we haven't had a lot of 4-gamers.
Not a lot of first games on a Thursday. A lot of times if it's a 4-gamer, like it's a Monday game, and we've kind of talked about the first game with Boone App a little bit. But, yeah, back-to-back walk-offs. You know, the special season is starting. Remember we said there was nothing for the Wikipedia page? Like there was kind of nothing going on? All of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. We're the best. Nestor looked good in his start. Agree?
Yeah. I mean, he had the strikeouts, which, hey, if you're looking postseason and bullpen role, those become more and more ideal. You know, there's some traffic. He gets out of one situation with that nice, the Jazz double play, step on third, throw the first. But yeah, I mean, Nestor's, I think there's one out of his last 4 or 5. There's one bad appearance. So we take that.
The bats did not come out until Cam Boozer decided to walk everyone and then couldn't throw a strike to save his life. So threw a 2-0 cookie to Judge. Like, what was that? It was like 93 or 94 dead center. Or was that Nick? Or was that Kelly that finally did that? That's the next game.
That's the next game, Pop.
See, it's all blurring together for me.
Well, it's also
Boozer pitched in both, right? Is that why?
I think Boozer did pitch in both. So yeah, you're good. Yeah, I mean, this was also where you get an Apple game.
Oh yeah.
That's Friday's game. Sorry, I shouldn't even be mentioning that. It's another reason why it was a weird 4-gamer.
Was a weird one. This was Ian Hamilton shove, Tim Hill, Tommy Canley, and they used Clay.
And extras.
That was the big decision, Clay and extras, which I still don't think the risk was worth the reward, but they got the reward. So I'm happy about it. But that was pretty risky with the runner on. They do get a ground out and then a fly ball. And he looked sharp. I think he threw only strikes. He threw 6 pitches and they were all strikes.
Yep.
And then Juan Soto ended it right away after that because it was just such a momentum builder to see Clay go out there and be dialed.
Canley came out for the first batter because it was a lefty. Abreu gets him on the first pitch. And then, you'll like this. Clay goes sinker, sweeper, sweeper, sinker, sweeper, sweeper.
Sinker, sweeper, sweeper, sinker, sweeper, sweeper. Nah, not bad.
Sure.
Hey, why did Kenley not pitch 2? Does he just not pitch 2? Like, he couldn't have thrown a lot of pitch.
I'd have to check. I think he's not, but I'm not on my Kenley game log like I'd like to be.
I got it. It's not even worth it. But twice, 5 times he's pitched more than 1 inning. Because he didn't throw that many pitches. And he's good.
He's very good.
He's very good. Anything else about this game? This was a Martian game, or was this a Verdugo game? Martian in left field.
Yes, this was Torres, Soto. This was game winner John Birdie run.
Back-to-back John Birdie game-winning runs.
All he knows. Gleyber, Soto, Judge, Wells, Stanton, Jazz, Dominguez in left, Rizzo, Volpe.
Volpe in the 9-hole, which he's done twice now lately.
Jazz with the caught stealing and the picked off in this game.
Yeah, that's been happening. Maybe that's an awards situation if we get to it. Okay. That was game 1.
Game 1, it was Thursday.
It's Thursday. It was a Fox game.
That's what I'm saying. It was Fox, Apple. So there was a lot of moving parts there. I mean, Thursday, that's all the way back when I replicated the Austin Wells video, and people are saying what they want to say,
That's a long
It's a long time ago.
Let's get to Friday, because that's it was Friday the 13th. Spooky.
Friday's game is brought to you by Pick It. Can I pick it? Yes, I can. Today's episode is brought to you by Pick It. It's a free bet tracker that allows you to see all of your bets in one place. The app tells you which teams, players, and bet types you are most profitable on. If you could zoom in on a team. I'm great on betting against Cincinnati. Okay, that's good to know. You can also see your friends' bets and are on the app. You can easily fade them or tail them, depending who your friend is. Download Pick It now with code JOHNBOY to get $3 or $100 sent directly to your PayPal or Venmo. Yeah. Either scan the QR code on the screen or head to Pickit, PIKKIT.com. Today, there's a link in the description. A bit of a Schmitty situation for Boston as they'd have to face Clark and Houck gets scratched, so they'd have to see if the dick fits. Schmidt gave the Sox Fitz, and Fitz gave the Yanks Schmidt. Zeros on the scoreboard until the 6th. Yoshi's story. As Masataka and Trevor each hit 2-run homers, it's 4-0 Red Sox. Gleyber with the RBI single, but Judge reminds all of Boston, I'm the captain now. 4-run home run to give New York the lead. Dreamweaver says good night. 2 innings from the Weave Dog as the Yanks win a beauty. 5-4 final.
One of the best games of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Down 4-0 in the 7th inning. And then they put together the rally where it's 3 walks, single by Gleyber, and then Judge, go ahead grand slam. That's a good way to get out of the homer drought. get the place going. Dugout erupted.
Down 3
Yeah.
to go up 1.
It's crazy.
That's the only way you can do that.
Yeah. It's got to be perfect. A 2-0. So this is the pitch I was talking about.
Yes.
I mean, is that 94 dead center?
It's one of those comically central pitches that you're like, that's
From a lefty, too.
95,
Like, oh,
some
boy.
velo, but, for Judge.
Crazy. That was awesome. Awesome. What'd Zach Kelly throw with?
Zach Kelly
He's a
is a
righty.
sidearm righty, yeah.
Okay. So he walked Verdugo and Volpe, which is crazy. Kudos to Volpe for getting one of his 10 walks amongst the rally. That helped. But sneakily, the Judge home run wasn't even the most hype part of this game.
One of his 10 walks? What was that?
Volpe doesn't walk. He's got the lowest on-base percentage of any Yankee in history that's played as many games as he does. But he took a walk in the middle of that rally, which was nice.
38 walks on the season. I get the point.
How many since the second half of the season?
Right.
Weaver for 2.
Yeah.
Weaver in the 9th. Fire me up.
Yes.
I was laying in bed with Katie watching the game, and I was saying, watch this, babe. This is your biggest rival. I have a crush on him. Told her, I said, watch him yell. Watch this pitch.
Watch this
pitch.
yell.
She was like, I don't care.
Stop.
I said, oh, you have to.
talking to
This
me.
is my new thing.
Right.
Like, you have to be into what I'm into. It's awesome. He's the closer. It's kind of wild because Boone, said he's just going by lanes and all that, but it's been Weaver every time. And he's just electric. Yo, the cutter to strike out Casas looking, the 3-2 cutter.
Mm.
I don't think he had thrown a cutter that pitch yet, that at bat yet, I mean. Or if he did, it was way earlier. That was special. That was awesome.
He's, the whole formula is there. There's stuff to both sides of the plate. It feels like he has a quirk between his leg kick, his actual personality, and just like, I don't know, when we do talk to Luke Weaver and after you're done gushing and all of that, like, I do want to have the conversation with him just about, where he was at. Like, it's kind of like one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball for like a while. And now he's this lights out reliever closing for the champion Yankees. It's pretty wild.
It's awesome. That at bat against Casas was 4-seam, changeup, 4-seam, 4-seam, changeup, 4-seam, 3-2 count, backdoor cutter, strikeout looking. And Casas just kind of looked at him like, what, dude?
We're doing that?
You're just going to go sneak attack 3-2 leadoff batter? Cutter? It's a ballsy pitch, man.
Ballsy guy.
If you haven't watched that at bat, go watch it. Go watch all of the Luke Weaver stuff. It was great. And then win the game. And all of a sudden, the momentum's as high as it can be.
Mm.
Walk off, grand slam from Judge, so his homer's back. Weaver with the close, so the closer situation is solved for now. We're flying high. We're feeling good. And then
I see.
Cole, here's Devers. Ooh.
I see what was going on there. That was one of those.
Game
That was
3.
a setup.
Yep.
That was a setup, wasn't it? Same vowels, different order as it's Bayo versus Cole. You thought that was confusing. Stay for the intentional walk. Like a good Gleyber, Torres is there. Another RBI single. Cole was unhittable until throws up the 4s to Dever, throws up a 4 on the scoreboard, and another 3. Disaster class couple innings by the Yanks. It's 7-1 in the 5th. It's 7-1 in the 9th. Yanks lose Game 3.
Everything you said's true. They lost. I have thoughts on the Cole stuff. I'm not nearly as hot as I texted you guys. Well, like I couldn't believe the post-game show from Yes, and I love them. Usually they hit every like hammer. We're doing the same like stroke and attack.
You didn't like Bronx Buds?
I would love Bronx Buds. I got to show James. I'm jealous because we've wanted to do a cartoon for so long.
Right.
I was more on the Yankees wavelength. I thought they handled it pretty good in the post-game presser. Cole, Boone, and Matt Blake all said, yeah, that was a mistake. That backfired, huh? That's our bad. It's what you want, right? Like, they don't usually do that. They doubled down. That would feel icky. With the lead, like the worst thing that could have happened was Devers hitting a solo game tying homer. Because I gave Boone the numbers last time, and I was like, hey, if the game's on the line, you can't let this happen. You just can't. Game's not on the line in the fourth inning with no one on base, and you have a 1-0 lead.
Hadn't
like all that
allowed a
can
hit.
happen. What?
Hadn't allowed a hit.
Yeah, all that can happen is he ties it. So I don't think that was the right move. But you roll a 2-ball like you did after you hit him. Who cares? The bigger issue is he didn't. That was like Clay of 2022. Like something went wrong and then it unraveled or something.
Yes, if they get the 2-ball there, or even it's just a clean inning, however it plays out, everyone's like, all right. There's a lot of moving parts. It's the Red Sox in their season more or less being out of play. Like the Red Sox needed at least 3 out of 4 in this series to kind of keep their season going. The Yankees had won the first 2 games up until that point. It's Cole versus Sox, which his numbers versus Sox are bad, and a lot of that is due to Devers. So we've talked on here before about intentionally walking Rafael Devers and how we're good with it. And it's the old any sport mindset. Like, we can't let that guy beat us. Like, hey, if it's Tyler O'Neill after him, if it's Casas, if it's Yoshida, we kind of have to live with that. Although Yoshida's really been killing us. The timing of it was just bizarre. And I think, yes, in the postgame, we get all the answers we want from the Yankees. When there's times they double down and we go, oh, Maron. And we're like, how can you possibly say that right now? They admit it was wrong. And I think the only scary thing is, from a Yankees perspective, it's the problem of sometimes they make a plan or they believe in something and it's the wrong plan or the wrong timing. And I don't know, this shouldn't get compared to like Davey and Happ, but they came into this game for the first time because Garrett Cole's Garrett Cole. And I think that was their biggest learning, and that was the funniest thing. Swish on the post game and Barrel Chest Bob and the whole crew, they were like, that's Garrett Cole. Like, he's the guy that leads you into battle. He's like your number one warrior. If you're going to do that, you kind of have to do it at a different time, or there's a runner on third, or whatever it is. That if you doing it right there was the miss, that they clearly came into this game with a game plan. They all admitted that they were like, hey, in the right situation, we're going to walk Devers. And we almost want to see what that looks like. And I think why the Yankees were so happy to admit it, this was definitely a Yankee fight conversation. Like everyone at the Lord of the Yankees round table that gets a vote, half the table was like, no, we never walk Devers, especially with Garrett Cole. Why would we do that? And the other half was like, well, I think we should try it and like let's see how Garrett reacts to it / the whole team reacts to it. And yeah, it was a massive failure, and it did. If we were Red Sox fans and we watched Devers get hit in the ribs in his first at-bat, and then he gets intentionally walked in his second at-bat with no runners on base, we'd be like, yeah, that's kind of chicken shit. And it kind of was.
Yeah. But bigger problem is he then lets Yoshida and Wilyer Abreu like score runs.
Well, yeah,
and it's just, you don't do it. If it was a tie game in the 6th, I'm like fine with it. But
Right.
It's a you're up 1. But I did not think people were talking about like it was going to crumble the season.
Swisher said that in the 7th inning between game pump. He was like, this might have lost their momentum this series and maybe this season.
If the Red Sox were a team you were going to play in the postseason, then yes, this would linger. And if they were, they probably wouldn't even do it. They probably would say, hey, face him because you're going to have to face him later. But whatever. Like, Cole stinks against Devers. That should not hurt them in the playoffs.
This year. And hopefully it's something we talk about every offseason. It's like, hey, could we just get Cole better against Boston? And yeah, I think the missing element for me, because it was good in the postgame. Wells had a great press conference. Chris Rose is tweeting about it on X.
People are mad about the Wells thing too, and I also.
Yeah. No, that was the interesting part of the logic that I had ignored was that they have, quote unquote, overused the bullpen. So part of this strategy was like, hey, if Devers is in a spot that we're like half open to walking him, like, let's just throw it up. We'll save Garrett like 6 pitches instead of just giving him first base the same way because we don't want him to beat us. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, you're trying to basically, you can almost sneak out 2 more hitters by just intentionally walking Devers here. Interested in that. The hit by pitch is a bad look at first because you're like, okay, so you're trying to save bullets and you don't want to pitch to this guy. So did you just catch him with one in the first? The excuse or Yankees rationale that I 1,000% believe is they're like, that guy's a great hitter and he hits balls off the plate. So we were trying to pitch to a very tight inside location. So that goes back to the argument of like, well, if you can't pitch in there, you don't do it. Garrett Cole can pitch in there. He proves that every start. But he yanked a cutter a little bit, and yeah, that was kind of part of it. But yeah, no, Wellesley was great. I thought Booney and Matt Blake were all good.
Yeah. Wells was like, I didn't know it was part of the plan, and everyone was in uproar about that. And Boone was like, well, Wells scouts to get guys out.
Right.
And the coaches decide if it's an intentional walk. Like, Wells can't go to the pitcher and say, hey, my scouting report that I did research on for you is you're going to walk this guy. Like, that's never going to be the catcher's job. So I thought that was a little silly. That's where I was like, guys, everyone's getting a little too hot about this.
I mean, at its core, you'd like to think if the whole team had that conversation that Austin Wells might be a part of it as the catcher.
Well, I don't think the whole team had it. I think Blake had it.
Right.
With Boone and Cole.
I would say this, if Blake, Boone, and Cole are in on it, I'm okay telling the catcher that day as well.
Yeah, what's interesting is I don't even think Cole can call for it like he did. Like, the rules say the manager has to call for it. Which is funny.
Definitely not.
Anyway, they lost and no one hit.
Yeah, hey.
Then they threw at Judge. We didn't mention that.
They threw behind Judge.
I'm happy he missed. I think Cole hit him on purpose. Or definitely pitched without care, not caring if that was the result of a cutter yanked in. I think that's, if Cole hit him on purpose, and I don't know if he did, obviously I have no idea, but if he did, that's way softer than the intentional walk.
Right. So you think he did?
I think he didn't care.
Yes. He wasn't trying to hit him, but he knew that was
I'll throw this cutter way
consequence.
inside. If he doesn't get out of the way of it, whatever. Like, I think that was what it was. But I was listening to a Terry Collins interview recently.
Hello.
With Tom Hallion, the umpire that said ass in the jackpot. And they were talking about just how pitchers disguise their hit by pitch now. And it's bullshit. And how Syndergaard wasn't going to do that. And Chase Utley didn't want him to do that either. Like, doing it on a 0-2 count or doing it on a cutter or a sinker. So it's definitely a thing modern pitchers kind of do now because they want to because they're being told to hit a batter from their managers most often or their teammates. They don't want to get suspended, but they don't want to let their teammates and not listen to their manager. Phil Hughes talked about this once when he was told to hit Donaldson. So pitchers will disguise the hit by pitch. But so everyone's saying it was a cutter. It was this, it was that. It happens. That's kind of happens now, which stinks.
Yeah, I don't think Garrett Cole threw that with the intention of hitting Rafael Devers. I think it was a potential side effect of throwing an inside cutter.
Comfortable with that result, but
Yeah, got a double play out of it. Smart.
It's not the second time.
Then he comes up bases loaded, and you're like, yep, that's how this is going to work. All right, well, that was game 3.
That was game 3.
They lost.
Southern Gentleman Cutter Crawford would toe the rubber against Southpaw, and Southern Gentleman Carlos Rodon, and a little bit of a momentum game for both teams. Hit the music quick. Giancarlo, RBI double down the line, opens up the scoring. Jazz flying around the bases. It's 1-0 Yanks. Make it 2. Torres again. He homers. It's 2-0. Double down. Here comes the judge, little darling. It's 4-0 Yanks after 3. The Big O, Tyler O'Neill, don't know if anyone calls him that. He hits a 2-run homer, and the Sox show a little fortitude to make it 4-2. Rodon was fine, 5.1, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks. In the 7th, Stanton, the sacked fly is underrated. It's 5-2. It would stay 5-2. Rodon to Hammy to Hill to Holmes to Cousin to Canely. Yanks win 5-2, and they take 3 out of 4 against the Sox. Zach Penrod.
Bullpen. It's a beautiful thing. Who would have guessed it? Not me. I wouldn't have. I did think when they scored off Rodon, when they hit the homer, I was like, shit. This would be typical. Yankees finally have like the high ground. Cora was trying to spark a fight and shit talk. And if they win this game, they can just walk away and never even respond and look like, the better, bigger team, just being like, okay, guys, okay. Yeah, you guys were really stirred up. Okay. And then I was like, fuck. Every time they're in that position, they botch it. They didn't.
No.
So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, in the second, Jazz infield single, Stanton double down the line, Jazz flying. And then Dominguez single. So it's 1st and 3rd, no outs. You got 1 run across. You're like, let's make an inning out of it. Volpe strikes out, but even in that, Dominguez took 2nd. So you got 2nd and 3rd. You're out of the double play. But then Waldo and Trevi strike out. So it's like, okay, that inning was starting to look like a potential like game ender inning. It's not. The Yankees, they get the 2 homers in the 3rd. We like that. It's starting to feel like it's over. And then, you're like, wait, I know 4-0's good, but is it? And then it's 4-2. And then you got a runner on 3rd, and Ian Hamilton comes in. Really nice performance. And even the 5-2, like the Yankees had a ton of action on the bases, and they get the 1 run out of it. But they needed this one. This would have been a tough talking Yanks if they didn't.
I agree. I would have been confused. I wouldn't really know how to operate. I still need the whole team, all the bats to start coming. It was nice to see Dominguez get a hit. He's reached every game he's played. Not that totally matters once, just reaching 1 time, but I think he has. I think they said that, which is good for him. 2 S's in Jasson.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that a lot.
And it's just said Jasson. Trev asked us on Talking Baseball, and me and Beebs kind of looked at each other like, yeah, I think so, because it's
Yeah,
Giambi.
he's named after Giambi.
yeah, his name is just Jasson.
But I feel like some people do say Jasson.
Yeah. It's fun.
Okay.
I call you Jacques sometimes.
It's true. Es verdad que.
Doesn't look like he reached in this game, so I don't know what that stat was that I read. 4 out of 5.
Sure.
That was what the graphic said in the pregame show. That's such a nothing graphic.
Okay.
4 out of 5 times he's reached. Okay. So he's the worst player ever. Sorry that I just repeated that for you guys.
It's okay.
It's totally my fault. Okay, well, do you want to get to the awards, dude? Because I'm pretty, interested in how you're going to play this. You get to go
What'd
first.
you say there, dude? You're hot.
You get to go first.
Are we ready for awards?
I think so.
Okay. Awards are brought to
We've
us
done
by
the games.
Awards are brought to us by Clinton Hall. This episode of Talkin' Yanks is brought to you by Clinton Hall, your home to watch all things MLB. We're baseball people, okay? We're a certain breed. And Clinton Hall, with several locations across New York City, 36th Street, bang, 51st, yep, Fidei, and the Bronx near Fordham. Perfect for large groups, corporate events, after work, happy hour. That's where I live. It's NYC owned and operated day one. It's the home for all things New York sports. Their double smash burger, you probably remember that winning the Food Network NYC and Food and Wine Award. 20 beers on tap, giant Jenga skee ball. One of the number one DMs I get from some people is like, hey, I'm heading into the city for a game. What should I do? And I'm kind of like, not sure. Now I tell them, head on over to Clinton Hall. They have what you're looking for. They're going to have what you want. There's a link in the description. Book on Resi, or just head on over there and grab a brewski, eh? Okay.
The only conversation that could have been happening before awards was the Verdugo-Dominguez Platoon situation.
Right.
Because Boone said, he was like, this gets me Verdugo in back-to-back while also getting Dominguez 5 out of 6, which he liked. Just to give you some insight in his head about it, Dominguez is going to get more time, but he doesn't want to ice Verdugo.
He doesn't want someone sitting for more than 2 games. I think is kind of the end game. Ideally 1, and we see, at this point, Stanton's fine with sitting. It does affect the lineup because he's Giancarlo Stanton. But it's also one of these things, we've gotten this far with Stanton, and they've essentially been resting him once a week that I think they might even sneak twice a week if they need to, just to keep the Verdugo-Dominguez train going.
I'd like to see Dominguez more. Since they called him back up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 now, which I guess is pretty good, but the 2 off days, it was start, off. So, the 2 off days were close. But I don't know. Interesting. I'm not upset about what they're doing really at all. The only part of me that's upset is isn't this what we said you should do? And you guys said it wasn't possible. Boone straight up told us this was not possible. And it was why not? So I'm happy because in the end, they're doing what we wanted. Dude, let them both play a little bit. See who wins out.
I'm bummed out. That conversation was off camera with Boone.
Well, yeah.
And it's exactly what you just laid out. And it was kind of I don't want to say Boone dunked on me, but he treated me like I'm not the manager of the Yankees, which the people have seen. And now they're just doing it. So, whatever.
No, he did have a line that was mean.
It was a travel ball got mentioned, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like it's working. Kind of.
I don't know. But it's better. I enjoy it.
I did laugh, and it's funny that we're used to it, and it's funny that it makes sense, but the Saturday game, Stanton was out, and they were like, yeah, Stanton's sitting day game after night game. He's the DH. He's not the catcher. So, yeah, that Stanton rules. I get it, and they've kind of worked, so. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit Stanton both final games of the series to get Dominguez Verdugo more run.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey, come Baltimore, which is a week from now. They have 6 games, then they play Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think you'll get insight into the playoff team. Like if I know them, they will go same team 3 days in a row in that series.
Yeah,
And it'll be who they want.
It'll be interesting.
Depending on splits, obviously, but if they do that on splits, that's what they'll do in the playoffs for splits.
And
It'll be the righty playoff lineup, the lefty playoff lineup.
I think it would also depend a little bit where they are in the standings. Like if they have already like somehow kind of won
If
the
they
East.
jump to like 5.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you there. Although, yeah.
They'll
if
give
it's
us
close,
instead of all 3 or 2 out of 3, they'll give us 1 game full lineup, and then they'll be like, "No, Orioles, we don't know what that lineup was. That's not coming in the postseason." It is.
Okay. First word,
Ken was asking if he could come to Blitzball Battle. Do we want that or no? I can't tell.
Pacerno?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have him talk to the other team.
He's going to be our biggest, like,
the
shit talk us.
That's right. That's right. I didn't know. Jim, I've never been against a cop out. Take the wins, make the layups. Aaron Judge, he hits what I think could be argued as a top 6 home run this season. The grand slam to get out of the longest homer streak of his career. Wow. And literally a grand slam against the Red Sox, down 3. So thank you, Cam Boozer. Like maybe that should be the pride. And then Judge homers today, and it is one of those. I was gonna say I feel bad for the kids. Jeez. Old Yankee Stadium, the blacked out seats to dead center field. When a ball got out there, it was like, yo, that is
Name
silly.
a player that did it. Name a player
A-Rod.
that did it. Name another one.
Giambi, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know if
know.
Giambi did it. Tony Clark did it one game.
Sure. Tony 2 times. When a ball landed out there, it's kind of like it was a whoa effect. It was like, wow, you don't see a lot of baseballs bouncing up there. Judge's homer today should have had that effect, but it just hits the blacked out windows out there. What is that? Is that the Mohegan Club? What's out
it's
there?
a bar.
Been out there once.
It's usually just like one couple behind there making out all
The
game.
people were very nice. No, what it was, and I think the people were like listeners. It was people that were working in that room. It was very much like, please come visit here more. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, I don't know. But like that Judge homer, again, there's a Judge effect of that we get to see him play all the time, but also just the effect of hit bouncing the wall and bouncing back in. It's like, wow, Judge home run. That's a monster. He had 6 RBI, almost half the team's RBI in this series. A little sneaky stolen base. Judge is going to get us a nice sneaker stolen base during the postseason that I'm excited about that. And he's El Capitan, you know?
El Capitan. Yeah, I was looking up the Yankees home runs. I got busy, but I was going to make a video.
Okay.
Top 6 homers of the year.
Right.
So I was searching by
WPA.
Yeah, WPA, straight up leverage index, championship win probability added.
Whoa.
Which doesn't always correlate to what we're saying, because I
Right.
still have the Stanton when it was
Right.
Soto, Judge, Stanton. That's still in my top 6, but that's not.
That adds
know.
to our championship win probability, but not the current stat.
Yeah. Soto's versus Doval and Ben Rice versus Kimbrel, which you'd have to say all the context as after the home run goes away if you want to include that one. And then all the home runs, the way you search it, against the Yankees come up. So Wyatt Langford's grand slams number 3.
Come on.
And then Jazz Chisholm's against the Phillies, but that's not on my. And then Cam Boozer's jumped up to let you know to the 5th spot. Which will be the 4th on win probability added homers. Juan Soto's against Reagan's with the foot injury. That's up there, too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, everyone else work on yours. Trent Grisham off glass now.
Mm.
That's on there.
Dodger game.
Yeah.
We want Judge. Or we want
And
Soto?
Wells is number 17 on this list. Well, that includes all the non-Yankees.
Right. Non-Yankees. And there's other unmeasurable tensions in that series, in those at-bats.
I agree.
You're still Team Judge?
Yeah. I like the guy.
How
My
many games do we
pride.
got left? 1, 2,
12.
3. 12 games. Is there a homer number he needs?
Judge?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, you mean like
Like
what's he at?
55 might be nice. I think he's at 53.
Well, what's his numbers?
What's that question?
He has 62, right?
Right.
Then the next highest is his rookie season, 52. So I was going to
That's
say I
that.
wanted it to be his second most ever.
Yeah.
So he's one away from that.
So then, I mean, it just becomes 2-week math that I think if we got one a week, I'd feel just fine.
Let's say 55 then.
Let's say 55. Matsui,
55 round number.
Rodon now?
To get results, you got to force results.
Yeah.
Rodon.
Passed the rookie number today, so we're good there.
Rodon?
He wears 55, right?
Oh, yeah. He does.
Who's your pride?
We only have so many episodes left.
Right.
And when you look back in the annals, you want to make sure that people got proper due.
They got their
right?
pride.
Like, right now, Judge has the most prides. That makes a lot of sense. Soto has the second most. That makes a lot of sense.
Adds up.
Okay, I don't even know who's after that. Maybe Volpe? How'd that happen?
Like heel.
Oh, Heel's
He's
got
probably
9.
up
Yeah,
there,
yeah. So this dude, I don't know if he's gotten a lot. I'm sure he's gotten a lot the other way.
Right.
Like, he might lead the team the other way. So I want to start rectifying that just a little bit as we go into the postseason and we get a little happier about ourselves. I'm going Gleyber.
I like the pick. I think someone might have him beat on MFers, but I like the pick.
Maybe. He got a lot for a while.
Right. He's up.
What? Gleyber has a 316 on base percentage. He pops 2 homers in this series. Since he went to the leadoff spot, his numbers are now this, but better because they don't have today included. 303 batting average, 394 on base. So you're looking at maybe a 400 on base. I doubt it bumps up that much just from today. 422 slugging, 816 OPS. And that stuff's all good and well. And you guys should be excited to hear that over his last 28 games, 130 something plate appearances. But there's some better stats that what Gleyber's doing for the team that are really good. He's averaging 4.28 pitches per plate appearance this season, which is the 5th highest in Major League Baseball. Like, as a leadoff hitter, his on base, it has been almost 400 as a leadoff hitter, but like typically I don't think Gleyber you look at as that skill set.
Right.
But seeing a lot of pitches, Soto and Judge want to see pitches. And since taking over the leadoff spot, that has even gone up.
Yeah, I think they said 4.45 on the broadcast the other day. I don't know.
Yeah, since taking over, it's changed. He's got a 360 batting average with 2 strikes this month, which is 7th best in Major League Baseball. And he's batting 438 in hitters counts, which is 9th best. So he's just been hitting. And he's not lost slug being in a leadoff spot and fighting off those pitches. He's actually gained it, which was like down all year. He's starting to hit homers. So, yeah, I've been pumped, man. The defense is not good. I want them to defensive replace him at the end of the games when they're up. That does not change. But the offense has been really helpful.
It, like we kind of said with the 4-game series, and like you said, those have normally come earlier in the week, so we kind of check in with Booney, and we're like, yeah, we talked about that. This was, again, Fox, Apple, 4-game set, weekend, Labor Day, a couple weeks ago. I don't know. Going through each box score when I write the burns and I watch the game, and if I forget the game, I'll watch the condensed or whatever. And it was like, shoot, Gleyber was in every game, man. He's got the leadoff homer to set the tone the first game, and that was their only run they scored in regulation. In the second game, he's got the single before the Judge grand slam. And then he homers, or he gets a single in the third. Gleyber drove in a run in every game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny when we look at our series stat page that we have, the batting average and on-base percentage don't jump off the page, but every time he did something, it was impactful. And
Beebs just pulled the stats. He does lead in motherfuckers this season, so just trying to do what I can.
Okay. What are the numbers?
Gleyber 11, Osmus 9, Nestor 7, Volpe 7.
Okay. Those are about to change.
Clay 4 for the people curious at home.
That means you're giving your MFer to one of those?
I'm not sure yet. Are we doing that?
No, you got to do your pride. Psych, you already did it.
You Yankee motherfucker.
That's psych. Just doing what I can for the people. My MFer. Wow. Okay. There's that whole situation we talked about. Can't give any more to Mark Leiter Jr. No, I mean, I like what that guy did. Oh, I'll go Volpe. Let's climb the ladder. Volpe finishes with a 1 for 15 in this series. Some of the butter knives that don't need to be buttered too hard are really tough with Volpe's hitting. And we've circled this not all season because he obviously had that hot start and the defense was better than last year. And we were like, okay, yeah. I mean, Volpe's offense has become such an afterthought that should almost be like the rude thing. Like that's almost the, like you stopped caring about your ex-girlfriend and you're like, oh, I don't. Volpe's offensive at bats, or when he comes up, there's never like a lean forward. There's never like he's winning this at bat. It's like, all right, if he gets one before 2 strikes, he's gonna hit something on the ground and maybe it gets through. Yeah, I mean, down in the 9-hole, we're seeing some poorly timed bunts. Yeah, easy. I think it's I don't know. It's what we talked about, and I think a lot of people get it. I think some didn't at the time, but like this guy should have gotten off days along the way and like reset and get some help. Where I think they've kind of IKF'd him and been like, "No, you're good, man. You're Anthony Volpe," and it's like offensively, the kid needs help.
Yeah, I mean, goes back to the heated discussion that we had with Volpe. Or with Boone about Volpe when it was like, hey, Peraza is up for a week. Why don't we give Volpe some rest? He's struggling. Last year, you said his September was awful because he got run into the ground. Well, guess what? It's September, and in his 14 games, he's got a 360 OPS, which is worse than last year's September. So maybe the rest would have been all right. Or just not locking this kid into a position. I was kind of just like, yeah, I don't think people realize how bad it is. I think they're starting to now. And he's so lost right now. I tried to find another Yankee over the course of 360 plus plate appearances that has a lower on base percentage than Volpe does in his last 367 plate appearances. So he's got a 247 on base percentage now, and since June. 367 plate appearance, got 247. So I checked the history of the Yankees to find other players that have had that much run within a single season, and that span with worse on base percentage. And Would you want to guess who comes up?
In that span.
360. I said at 360 plate appearances.
Who else comes up? In recent years?
I did the whole history of the Yankees.
Whole history of the Yankees. Chris Carter get there? No, he's an on-base guy.
Yeah.
I got not. Let's hear it.
Gallo.
Nothing. You're great. It's 100%. No
Nailed
one's
it.
ever done that.
Nailed it.
He's the only Yankee to ever play 87 games, see the field 87 games straight, get 360 plus plate appearances, and have a 247 on base percentage. Bobby Richardson in 1964 came close with a 249 on base percentage, and Horace Clark in 1970 came close with a 249 on base percentage. Both of those guys had higher batting averages than Volpe does, but he's got slightly higher slug than they did. So yeah, it's like the worst stretch of are you providing help every day that we've ever seen offensively, because slug is his 316 slugging is better than those other two. But as far as day in, day out, that's hits and walks. And no Yankee in the history of the Yankees has played this many games, gotten this many plate appearances, and has provided as little offensively than Volpe from June to September. It's crazy.
It's bad. It's become such an afterthought, and that's kind of what the Yankees PR machine wanted it to be. And yeah, I mean, the Bobby Richardson, he was a Gold Glove second baseman. So if you're going to be doing that, you have to be playing a level of Gold Glove defense, and Volpe is doing that. And when he is
he's ranks like middle of the pack this year.
Who do you think's going to get it?
I don't know, but unless it's all NL dudes, he ranks 12th in like DRS and outs above average.
Yeah,
usually they vote on DRS
this year. It's again. I don't want it to be like a Talkin Yanks was right. These guys never super love Volpe. Love the energy, love the smile, love the base running, love the defense. But the hitting,
I don't think I do.
The hitting is not there.
Yeah, and right now he's just defeated. Like his at bats today in the last game were like nothing. They were like a sad guy going up there and being like, "Let's just do it,"
because the Yankees rolled him out there.
I'm out. Is Bobby Witt going to do it? He hasn't beaten the defensive metrics. Shortstop. Zach Neto. Gunnar Henderson hasn't beat defensively, and Bobby Witt. So DRS, he's 4th in the AL. Outs above average, he's 2nd in the AL.
I think your guy Gunnar has a lot of those bad plays. The errors.
He does. He
and
leads the league.
plays, so
he leads the league in those bad.
I could see Witt and
plays.
Neto being up there. Witt and Neto also hit a lot.
So good MFer.
Thank you.
It's getting to the point where if he continues this the next 2 weeks of the season, they're going to be in a situation where all of a sudden Oswaldo is going to start a playoff game.
Yeah, or they're going to have to pinch hit him in a spot, and they haven't braced themselves for that.
Yeah.
They know it, and they haven't braced themselves for that. If you have Verdugo on the bench or Dominguez, and they bring out a righty out of the bullpen, and it's the 8th inning, and the Yanks are down a run, you need someone who could hit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to go Cole for my MFer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, only loss, allowed 7 earned runs. Almost more mad that the intentional walk is distracting from the poor outing. I don't blame the rest of his day on the walk. A lot of people are like, and that ruined the rest of the day. Well, I don't think it should have, even if He's still got to get outs, man.
You're right, but there is an argument on the other side of just like the oddness of it. And that's kind of sports sometimes. Like, again, that's right and can't be argued against, but also it was a little bizarre.
Yeah. But you got to get the other outs, Cole.
Right.
We'll work on Boston next year, Sayonara.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's really funny. Because, dude, Cole sneaky his last 40 innings pitched, a 1.58 ERA coming into that game. So Cole's rolling. He's retired them in order, and then the wheels come off. That, obviously different factions of the internet run harder, but they're like, dude, Cole ain't it right now. And it's like, well, he's getting the pill game 1. And he should bounce back fine.
He should bounce back.
Who's he get? Oakland? Or does he get Seattle?
Well, it's
Oakland.
It's interesting because right now, like Yes Network said, they think it's going to be Heel, Nestor, Schmidt against Seattle. It could be Heel, Nestor, Cole against Seattle, which would allow Cole for both series, but maybe they don't care about that, both Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So right now he's scheduled for first game against Oakland, but they've been making changes to the whole time. So I don't know.
Okay.
Oakland, they've been playing.
Probably let Cole decide, but I don't think they will. Probably Oakland. Should we do regular awards?
Regular old awards.
They are brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. There's a football Sunday going on now, and you can bet touchdowns, TDs over at DraftKings. The place to bet touchdowns. At the DraftKings Sportsbook right now, bet $5 and instantly get $250 in bonus bets plus 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. Promo code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
Regular old awards.
Am I blanking on the theme?
Blank
themes. Okay.
See how that got confusing for you.
Patience is a virtue.
Rizzo?
Ooh, I see there's a couple ways, and I did want to talk about him. Jasson Dominguez. Jasson Dominguez. I'll get Ted Lasso on it. He had a nice, I think it was an 8-pitch walk against Bayo. We just talked about a lot of Volpes. If you can walk, there's a good chance you're a good hitter, unless you only try to walk. Couple Yankee center fielders of past years pop up. That Dominguez, he has an approach at the plate. He was 0-2 in that at-bat versus Bayo, and then grinds back to get the walk. And Jasson has had to have some patience throughout this season. So I liked what I saw there. And yeah, he's one of the most, I guess as Yankee things go the next couple weeks, I want to watch him. Like, is he going to have a locked-in gear that's going to kind of end the conversation? Because Verdugo has been contributing a ton. But yeah, and in what ended up not mattering, but I liked that at bat against Bayo.
I guess it's a bad thing that, like, Dominguez, Rizzo, Verdugo, don't even really remember anything, like good or bad from this series. Like Dominguez had that hit today. Verdugo had the walk. Volpe had that walk. But, they're not on my mind in a negative light, but they're also not on my mind in a positive, which probably means they didn't do much. But I'm not jumping to conclusions on Dominguez. So I agree with the name of your award.
Right.
Very interested in the plan because I really don't know. But yeah, you like what you see? I find him fun to watch.
Well, it's been fine, right? Like he's stolen a couple bases, and that's kind of nice. Verdugo doesn't have that. I do think defensively, I feel just a little safer with Verdugo, but that's just kind of because he's played a lot of major league left field at like different stadiums and stuff, like knows the walls and corners better. So it just ties into the whole Dominguez storyline of like, I just wish we had seen more of this guy throughout the season. So I had more of if there was the Yankees' first playoff game tomorrow, I don't know if I'd want Verdugo or Dominguez necessarily. Like, I know
you want to know an answer,
right?
By the
like
time that happens.
That's probably not a popular take for a lot of people listening to this right now. But like, Verdugo has had like a good stretch.
Played in the playoffs before.
So yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
My award,
Right.
would be Out of Tune award.
It's just out of tune, man.
Yeah.
Second. Out of tune. Who's out of tune right now? Trevi.
Ooh, no. Jazz music.
Oh.
Jazz on the base paths. A little scatty.
Yeah.
Some developments. He, in the last 4 games, I think has gotten caught stealing twice and picked off twice. Maybe just 3 times. Because I think the double steal is in the book as a caught stealing, even though I would consider it a pickoff. So that's why. But, yeah. Weird, right? Like, on the 12th, was the double steal where I think Wells kind of hung him out to dry. Like Wells bluffed and he was like, oh yeah, hell yeah. Me and Judgy been running.
Right.
And then he got caught up. The next day, the 13th, he's on first in the bottom of the 7th, 1-run game, tries to steal for Rizzo and he's just out. Throws down a second. The next day, September 14th, he's on first, bottom 4. They're down 1. Homer would tie the game. And he's picked off, just straight picked off. So Jazz on the base paths has been not doing it, overdoing it. He also had one, Wheeler picked him off when he first came up, joined the team when they played the Phillies. So he's got 3 outs on the base path. It makes sense. He's very active. I appreciate the activeness, but got to fine tune that a little bit.
Yeah, it's man, he's I know when we've talked about this, but like Brett Gardner running when there's a ball in the gap and his like perfect circular base running and how pretty that is. I mean, Jazz just feels like he's in 1.5 speed. It's like the Stanton ball down the line today on the Luke Voit camera cut shot meter, like he's 10 strides ahead of where, not 10. He's like 3 strides ahead of where I expect him to be. Like, I think this is it. Like, when they turned to Jazz, ball in the corner, I was expecting him to be, like, kind of at shortstop, and he's a couple steps past. But, yeah, he, I guess I just need to know for Jazz, because I kind of like risky base running, because I think when it pays off, it stings the other team. We felt it during our, like, bad catching times. Just be smart in the situation. Like if the big boys are up there, we can't risk anything. You know, if it is at the bottom of the lineup, and we've talked about this as future baseball strategy, like, you know, if we're clearing the 9-hole hitter or something like that, like, and we're setting up the top of the lineup, like be strategic about it. If you're up there and Gleyber's got 2 strikes, and you get picked off for being aggressive, that's fine. Like, reset the top of the lineup. So I'm open to some mistakes for how electric he has been on the bases, But, yeah, I mean, a wrongly timed one in an October game, and everyone will hate jazz music.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just bizarre that it was 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And he now leads the 2024 Yankees in getting picked off. He's tied with 2 other players. Can you name those players?
Say getting picked off?
3 New York Yankees have been picked off 2 times each this season. Name those players.
2 times each this season.
Jazz is one of them.
Trent Grisham.
He has only been picked off once.
Let's see. Gleyber Torres.
Correct, sir. He has been picked off twice.
Juan Soto.
No.
Yeah.
According to this, he's never been picked off. It's Austin Wells.
An aggressive catcher.
Yes. Your next award?
My final award with the theme of blank. Keep throwing up zeros.
Tim Hill.
It's close. It became like a 50-50. It's Ian Hamilton.
Good. We should talk about it.
We should talk Ian Hamilton because he's been an interesting one on the ride of talking Yanks, because he was. I'll do it quick because it makes me laugh. Next Yankee project. This guy hasn't played baseball in years, but we've always loved him. Okay. He gets called up. Oh, his second pitch is a Slombio. Sure, guys. But it kind of was slider changeup type pitch. And then he was a part of kind of the weird Yankee season where he was killing it. He finally got thrown in a couple high leverage roles, did decently, banged up. Yankee season doesn't matter anymore. Comes a part of this season. A couple times we talked to Boone in this offseason. He's like, whenever we brought up high-end bullpen and we wouldn't say Hamilton, he'd be like, guys, what about Hamilton? And we'd be like, yeah, yes. Ian Hamilton's nice. But the baseball reliever position is so volatile. He's back. He comes in the first game, 1.2, 3 strikeouts like that. Comes in today when the game could have been a 4-2 to 4-3. Would have felt a lot scarier. And he gets the job done there. So,
gave up his first hit since coming back.
First hit was probably going to happen. Always been intimidating.
He's only given up 1 hard hit ball on all of his outs. It was Isbell on the Royals.
Is that a long at bat too?
It was a 2. I mean, it was a very easily fielded ground ball. So it was like a hard hit, but right in the ground. So I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't characterize that as a scary piece of contact. So, and today the hit was also a grounder, a worm burner through Jazz and Volpe. So, yeah, he hasn't done anything that would warrant worry yet. He's also struck a lot of guys out. Slider being the final pitch on all of his strikes. The slider has been the final pitch on every at bat.
Get him out of here.
Is he throwing the other pitch?
He reminds me of Cousins. Like, his Slombio kind of goes like straight down, where Cousins' slider moves kind of like a video game slider, how you like to picture it. Both of their fastballs, I feel like, are the same. Like, they've got some nice run. They're a good fastball. If you're looking for the other pitch, it's a great fastball. But I feel like neither of them just want to get beat with that pitch because it's kind of a throw that good pitch situation.
Throw that one good pitch.
Mike Asano.
He has thrown 20 sliders, 4 sinkers, and 2 four-seams since he's returned.
Sure.
So that's a lot. 66.666666 repeating sliders.
Holds it like a changeup, but snaps it, right?
I really don't know. That's how I hold my curveball and
Right.
blitzball.
You're a Slombio guy.
No, that's a curve. I just do a circle change grip. Twist it.
Don't let the Yankees analytics call it a name.
Yeah. I won't. That's
You
something I won't do. I will not do that. My final award, but on the bullpen, since moving Clay and where they used Clay, it almost changes everything, dude. It's like, why? God damn. I hope they take this and like use it as a lesson to not be so slow to change in the future, because all of a sudden Clay's helping out in those innings.
Right.
The other three have stepped up. Like Canely comes in and gets a ground ball. Weaver's been getting the saves. Hamilton's joined. Like it's Tim Hill has stepped up. It's like everyone else responded. Oh shit, we lost our closer. We better step up. And like they've looked so much better besides Leiter.
Right. Who's just kind of in the bad place right now.
Yeah, and like I don't even know if he has enough time to get out. But who? Damaso Marte exists.
Right.
All right. Last award of the day. The You Remain Beautiful award.
Couple options for you here. You remain beautiful.
Wait.
Okay.
Nope. Got it. It's the same thing.
Same thing?
Yep.
You remain beautiful. I mean, my brain jumps to Weave Dog, but I know Content Jimmy feels like we've already scratched that itch.
Yeah, and if I was to give him an award, it would have been the true pride of my Yankees.
Or spit in my mouth and slap me around a little bit award.
I don't want to ever meet him.
I think you're going Oswaldo Cabrera.
Yes, I am going Oswaldo Cabrera. You had it the whole time. Guess what? Oswaldo Cabrera gets the rare once-a-week start. Can't play this guy out too often. And guess what Oswaldo Cabrera does? He goes 2 for 4. Oh. Silly. So happy for Oswaldo. He had the worst season of a Yankee. Like how I was talking about Volpe's stretch. Like that was him last year. It's statistically one of the worst wall-to-wall seasons as a Yankee. Oswaldo Cabrera last year. He had a 574 OPS, and he played in 115 games. Know if anyone's had a lower OPS playing in that many games. Yes, one man, Chris Stewart, in 2013. 109 games, 566 OPS. Thanks for having his back, Chris Stewart.
Thanks, Stewie.
But yes, Oswaldo Cabrera, very good. Did I even share the Oswaldo Cabrera stats I pulled for the Boone interview that I don't even think I said with him?
Not sure.
I don't think you did.
Since May 1st, Oswaldo Cabrera has a 739 OPS, 272 batting average, 327 on base, 412 slugging. Since June 1st, 304 batting average. An OPS of 841, which is great. 103 plate appearances. Since July 1st, batting average of 333, on base percentage of 401, slugging of 527. Since August 1st, these are going to go up now. It's a 281 plus batting average, 361 on base plus. It's going to go up, and 890 OPS. So Oswaldo has just played. He's just been good.
Booney with a good presser answer today, saying he likes when Oswaldo has any glove on him, which was a good line. But yeah, it's again, I mean, it's probably earmuffs for some people, but if you knew nothing about prospect pedigree and you'd watch the last 2 months of Yankees baseball, there'd be a lot of finger pointing to place another guy more. But I don't know. I get it and I don't. Yeah.
Good for Oswaldo, good for Luke Weaver.
What was that?
Good for Oswaldo, good for Luke Weaver. I can't be happy for people?
You can be happy for people.
Good for Clay.
Good for Clay.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
Good for Clay.
Less stress. You know who likes that stress? The Weave Dog.
Good for Clay.
Good for Clay. Good for Canely.
Rizzo with a couple okay swings.
Yeah, the numbers aren't there for Wizzo, as I revert back to my 5-year-old self. But don't make that face. It's okay.
Not. It was just back to back, and I don't want you to get in your head.
I'm okay.
Okay. Okay.
Rizzo, are we ever going to care? I was going to give him an award,
Right.
and it was going to be called Are We Ever Going to Care.com award. Is that a website?
Ooh, heavy.
Are we ever? Feels like it would be a political stuff. Going to care.com. Like if this is a website, I click enter and there's something on this page.
Right.
It's got to be passionate and personal. Like someone bought this domain for a reason. Nah, it's available. Put a picture of you sick. Buy the domain. Just put a picture of you sick.
Rizzo would have to be really bad, and then like Oswaldo's name would come in the ring because people have seen him play first base.
Yeah.
Nice stretch today.
True that. Why you do that? Try to be a top there, but you making me laugh. Crazy joy when I see the eyes of my baby boy. I pledge to you that I always will teach you how to be a man. I don't know how the rest of that song goes. That's a good Will Smith song. That's the end of the episode, I believe. The Yanks are off to play the Mariners, where Randy Arozarena might fucking toy with them. Randy. And then the A's.
That means people will have tonight and tomorrow to watch the warehouse games.
Team Baggage plays tonight versus that punk Trevor Plouffe and Forgotten Rotten. Warehouse games. Be there or be a loser. Good night. Farewell. Goodbye. So long for you. For now. Go Yanks, Tom Grams.
Go Yankees.